First day of the Combine started off with a bang. Giants GM taking some Q&A, and his answers were very, very interesting. I'll give you my thoughts coming right up. What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to Tommy's Takes. I'm your host, Tommy G. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. Please do hit that subscribe button, like, comment, turn notifications on. As always, repping the Giants country team. Check them out, always doing big things. Get right into it. Big day today, first day of the Combine. Joe Schoen taking some Q&A, and he had some very interesting answers, especially around Daniel Jones. But before we get to that, Kenny Golladay will be cut March 15th. Soon as the Giants are able to do it. There was some talk whether it would be a pre-June 1st cut, post-June 1st cut. But Joe Schoen showing everybody he wants a healthy cap. Giants could have cut Kenny Golladay after June 1st. Got about $13 million in extra cap space for this year. But Kenny Golladay would have still been on the books for 2024. So Joe Schoen is cutting his losses now. Giants are still going to get about $6.7 million in cap space this year, which is going to put them probably over $50 million at this point, and they'll probably get some more cap room as they go along. If they would have cut Golladay after, more cap space now, less for next year, whatever. The Kenny Golladay era with ERRROR is over. One touchdown to show for $72 million. Really unfortunate signing. Wish him the best of luck. I don't think he has much left, but he's going to be gone. So just wanted to get that business out of the way first. And now we'll get to Joe Schoen's presser. So first and foremost, the first thing I took from this press conference was there is no doubt, and that's Joe Schoen's words, no doubt Daniel Jones will be back next season. Now, what the number will that be the franchise tag, if they're going to give him a long-term deal? Nobody knows right now, but he's coming back. And in no uncertain terms, Joe Schoen was asked, do you have any doubts about Daniel Jones coming back? And his answer was, no doubt. So he's coming back. That's going to be a for sure thing no matter what. And, when it came to talking about negotiations with Daniel Jones, there were some more interesting things that came up. So, apparently, there were no negotiations with CAA before Jones decided to move on from them. Nothing. Not a dollar amount discussed, years discussed, nothing. So, where that $45 million came from now is even more of a mystery. My personal opinion is it came from CAA. Salty that Jones ditched them right before he was going to get a big contract. Obviously, they get a big cut out of that. That tells you one thing. So, as far as where they are in the contract, they're speaking every day. Joe Schoen has spoke to Athletes First, Jones' new agents, in person, on the phone. He feels like they've made good progress. So, that deal looks like it could be coming along a lot quicker than people think. I also think that deal is going to be a lot fairer than a lot of people think. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near the $45 million, honestly. But Joe Schoen did say something very interesting, and he said this twice when speaking about Jones' negotiations and Barkley's negotiations. He basically said at some point, I'm going to draw a line in the sand, and I'm going to stick to that. And there's going to be no coming back from that, which was very interesting. And I think he is going to stick to that. I think it's very true. But in my opinion, that Jones deal will get done soon. Joe Schoen just solidified that, speaking about it at the presser, saying no doubt he's coming back. We're working every day. The fact that Joe is working with the agents every day shows you they're working towards something, and they're going to get something done very soon, and they should. Daniel Jones should be back as the quarterback of the New York Giants. I think it's going to be a fair deal. I think it's going to be a deal where the Giants are still going to be able to get some upgrades for Daniel Jones, receiver, interior O-line, whatever that might be. I think everybody's going to benefit from it. I think everybody kind of hit the panic button when they heard $45 million, and rightfully so. That's a little high for Daniel Jones, let's be honest. But I think it's all going to come together, and Daniel Jones is going to be the future franchise quarterback of the New York Giants. Now, we'll get to Saquon Barkley. My personal opinion here is Joe didn't sound as sure about Saquon Barkley. He kind of went into this spiel about, it's not all about productivity. Obviously, Barkley had a super productive year in 2022. He said it's not all about productivity. It's about health, the player's health in the past, player's health in the future, likelihood that the player could get hurt. And he said there's still a significant gap in negotiations. So nothing essentially has changed from the bye week of 2022 when they tried to approach Barkley and his agents, and there was a large gap there. There's still a large gap. And, getting towards March. March is here. So that was an interesting one. Joe did say that he's cautiously optimistic about getting a deal done with both players. To me, that was just kind of GM speak. If you really looked at it and kind of took a seat back, didn't really listen to the words, but just kind of soak it all in, seems like this Jones deal is going to get done. Seems like they're going to let Barkley walk. I mean, that just seems the way it's headed, honestly. And it's tough because Barkley was such a big part of the team last year, big part in helping Jones develop. So that's kind of my takeaways for Jones and Barkley. I think Jones will be back. Barkley, I do not think will be back, honestly. I think it's just going to be too big of a contract. I think Barkley's going to get around 14, 15 million. He's probably top 3 running back in the NFL, and he's just going to price himself out of the Giants' plans, unfortunately. A couple other things we'll touch on. Joe did say that the team plans to talk to the reps of Julian Love and John Feliciano this week. Also said he's had conversation with Nick Gates' agents, hopes to bring Gates back. So it's kind of in that, this, and that's why you can't take too much from this presser, because this is kind of the point where, yeah, we want to bring everybody back. We love everybody. We're going to reach out to everybody, but that's not realistic. It's not what's going to happen. Several of these unrestricted free agents are going to go bye-bye. But Joe's saying all the right things. Also said when it comes to finding a wide receiver, he's not concerned about size, not concerned about speed. If they could separate, we'll find a way to utilize them in the offense. Obviously showing confidence in his offensive coaching staff, Dable, Kafka, so not worried about a specific body type or specific role type of receiver, which is interesting. I personally think the Giants need 2 things. An X receiver to line up on the outside, win those one-on-one matchups. Whether Colin Johnson maybe can come back and fill that role, still a super mystery. And you're going to need some top-end speed. If Darius Slayton walks, which seems like it's going to happen, Giants have a gaping hole about this big when it comes to top-end wide receiver speed. So something to take a look at when the wide receivers get going here at the Combine. Also spoke about Davis Webb, his promotion to quarterbacks coach in Denver. Said I couldn't be happier. He's going to be a hell of a coach. And we're absolutely proud and happy for Davis Webb, too. It's awesome for him to get that promotion. And, he reiterated, hey, we're still going to build through the draft. Giants have 9 picks now. It's probably going to be 11 picks. But Joe Schoen said, hey, this is still draft building, still what we're going to do. Nothing is going to change about that no matter what direction we go into. Obviously, if you're bringing Jones back, you're not in a rebuild. I mean, you are, but you're not at the same time. Whereas if you weren't bringing Jones back, you really step up an aggressive rebuild. So that plays a little bit of a part. Shane said that he had talks with Dexter Lawrence reps about a possible extension, saying we'd love to have Dexter Lawrence here for a long time. I think everyone would. Everyone's seen Dexter Lawrence, playing his first full real season as a zero-tech nose tackle, utterly dominant, all-pro type season. Let's see what else we got here. And, the biggest thing I take from this, honestly, when I look at the whole press conference. Oh, one more I had. Joe Schoen, and I was happy to hear this, didn't feel great about the defensive line depth. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Mr. Schoen. That interior defensive line got absolutely destroyed whenever Leo and Dexter were getting some breathers on the sidelines. Obviously, you lost DJ Davidson, Nick Williams earlier in the year. Not sure if they're the answers or not, but needs to be something addressed for that interior defensive line. They just got manhandled. That was great to hear. And that was it. That was basically the gist of it. I know some Giants fans had trouble seeing the presser or the broadcast on Giants.com. Wasn't a super long presser, but there definitely was a lot of underlining material in there. And, I think he said all the right things. Obviously, he would love to have Jones and Barkley back together. They were a dynamic tandem last season, especially on the ground together. But financially, when you have holes at wide receiver, linebacker, interior D-line, interior O-line, cornerback, you can almost throw any position out there. Really hard to put $15 million into the running back. And I don't know if that's a good distribution of assets at this point. The Giants are not a running back away from a Super Bowl. But like I spoke about on the last show, Barkley is the face of the New York Giants. Whether you like it or not, when Gettleman selected Barkley number 2 overall, and he won Rookie of the Year his first year, he became the face of the New York Giants, and he still was this previous season because he did his thing. So It's kind of where I'm at with the whole Barkley thing. Would love for him to come back. Would be awesome. Don't see it happening. I feel the same way with Julian Love, John Feliciano. I know Shane said he was going to talk to their reps and he reached out, but I don't see them coming back either. And I think the Giants really need to get a little bit, and I won't say younger, but some new blood in there. They patched some holes last season, which was awesome, but, you need some new blood in there. You need some fresh blood. You need upgrades. You always should be searching for upgrades as an NFL team, as an NFL GM. But overall, we'll see what happens. KG cut March 15th. He'll be gone. Giants are going to get about almost $7 million in cap space back. Adios, KG. Combine's about to pop off. Keeping an eye on receivers. Keeping an eye on 40 times for receivers. Keeping an eye on linebackers, cornerbacks, you name it. You keep it locked with Tommy's Takes. I'm going to have all the information this week on the Combine. I'm big into prospects. I'm big into the draft. So you stay tight right here. We'll be back. Peace.